World news.
It is the World Happiness Index came out for 2015. It is based on a whole bunch of different factors: healthcare, corruption, life expectancy. So they take all these factors into consideration and rank each country on how happy generally the citizens are. And the point is for lawmakers to consider their citizens' happiness a little bit more. So it seems that these Scandinavian countries always come in first. Switzerland came in first, followed by Norway, Denmark. The U.S. ranked 15, right after Mexico and right before Brazil.
After
Mexico.
Mexico was 14th, 15th U.S., 16th Brazil. So that's interesting, says something, Canada was actually like 5th, which is interesting. Our neighbor. I guess you're a little bit more happy. We're right up there across the border.
In the cold, right?
Yeah. And at the bottom of the list were like Syria and Rwanda. So that's interesting.
That's not interesting, the Syria part, because I see why they're not.
Well, of course, yeah.
And Rwanda, yeah.
Yeah, but just in general, interesting that we ranked 15th. So
it's interesting we ranked after Mexico.
Yeah, I heard there's a lot of corruption going on there, a lot of violence and bloodshed.
Guess, there's other factors like health. I guess people generally are healthier. The healthcare comes into play a lot. Like when you think about Canada and universal healthcare, so that probably is a big factor. But so. Other than that, this week, starting this past Friday, is World Immunization Week, which is interesting because it seems that that's a big debate right now, right? Whether or not to get immunized.
They're going to do it in schools now too, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's already mandatory. Some are, but how do you feel, Phoenix?
Yeah, as a mother, how do you feel about people who don't want to vaccinate their kids or people who do want to vaccinate their kids?
People who don't want to vaccinate my child.
See, we had this conversation.
We had this conversation like one of the first few episodes that we did.
But for the new followers,
we've already talked about this. I only give my son what is mandated by the school for him to go to school. And if it weren't required, then I wouldn't give it to him because my son, for the most part, is a very healthy kid. He comes to contact with all kinds of germs and bugs, just like a normal, just like I did with my cousins and my sisters, and he gets sick, then he gets over it and he builds tolerance. These immunizations, aside from their harmful side effects and whatever it is it's coming out about, what it's doing to the brain and the body, it weakens our natural defenses against, diseases. If you get a shot for every time you get sick or take a pill for every time you get sick, when you don't have that shot or that pill, you can't do anything. When you're using disinfectants every time you touch something or whatever, now when your skin is becoming more sensitive to germs, so when you don't have that disinfectant, you don't have hand sanitizer, you're becoming more prone to sickness and diseases. True. I think it's not needed. Some things maybe. Everything that they're saying, swine flu, bird flu, chicken, whatever. I don't need it. Thank you.
True, that's a good point. I mean, on the other side of it, though, a lot of people are for immunization because of this concept called herd immunity, which basically says that if a decent amount of the population gets a vaccination for something, it can help even the people who never got the shot, and it will prevent them also from getting it, and then it can stop the transmission of a lot of diseases. But that is,
that's a theory we should try.
Right. But then there's the toxins and the thoughts that different mental
everybody else
can
has different
stem from it.
On the vaccination.
Yeah, I guess. So.
You have to think about it too. It's like before these immunizations came out, how do you think people were living to 100, 105, 100? They didn't have shots. They didn't have flu shots. They didn't have all these things that are, people, I understand they do have their benefits, but they didn't have these things and they were living just fine. So clearly our body is built and designed to be able to tolerate and withstand any, certain things where we don't need a vaccination for everything. So my whole thing is if you don't need it, don't give it to me. I'm not getting the flu shot.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, the one scary thing is that some old diseases are actually coming back now, like whooping cough. So that is the one threat that certain older things that we thought were eradicated.
Never gone anywhere. This is my problem with people. People who don't know always want to talk about coming back. These things never went anywhere. Whooping cough has been around since I had my son, since my mother had my sister, since my grandmother had these things have not gone anywhere. Bird flu, swine, they've been here. The problem is nobody talked about it. Nobody was informed about it. Nobody knew how to fight against it without medicines. And now that there's medicine or a pill or something for everything, Now we're gonna talk about whooping cough again and give you a pill for that. Now we're gonna talk about bird flu and bring a pill for that. Now we're gonna talk about chicken. I don't need it. We're fine without all of these drugs and medications in our system.
Right. Well, speaking of, toxins and things that are harmful for the body, Diet Pepsi has just announced that they removed aspartame from the drink, which is a big deal because for a while that was like the trendy, sweetener because people thought it was a little bit healthier. But now the trend is more that, people are against it. And I know I don't like it. I can taste it immediately in anything. I think it's great. I think they said a lot of possibly, cancer causing, effects from aspartame. So I don't know. What do you ladies think?
I think it's great that corporations and businesses that are so huge and having such a great growth of money, like that, they're actually thinking about the health of other people and trying to benefit everyone else's health. Because I even question it. Like, wow, I'm surprised. It's all about money usually for it, and for them to actually think about the health.
Right. It's great because it is healthier. But the funny part is that now their popularity is raising over Coke, so they are still making money out of it.
I feel like too the Pepsi must be cashing it now. It's trendy to be healthy. It's not cool to eat fast food or drink soda anymore. So this always, I'm sure this is a great marketing strategy for them, but I hate diet soda in general. But it's cool now that the people that I love that drink it won't have to drink that awful sweetener.
Be a little bit better.
Did you guys see how the McDonald's are actually closing? Undercover supposedly, but for people who will look into this stuff, McDonald's have closed in, I forgot which country it actually was. They closed several McDonald's down.
Wow.
In the whole country. Wow. So that's great.
Yeah.
Because,
that's awesome.
They're actually informing their people about the bad part of McDonald's food. It's not really real food.
It's not.
So that's great that people are actually making a difference like this. Let's see where it comes. Now we have to actually try to close down McDonald's in the U.S.
Yeah, right?
That'll be the day.
I don't know how it was when it first came out, McDonald's, but if you make real food, use real chicken for the chicken nuggets, it'll be great. You have to close down your whole store, but...
Go Bolivia.
Bolivia. Okay, because I was reading that in my class, actually. Yes, it was Bolivia. They closed down the McDonald's in Bolivia. So... people are against it. They're really for in Bolivia. They're actually for health, and they want to be proactive and help everybody else in the community do that too.
Right. Speaking of health, one more thing that I wanted to mention. K2 is coming back. Everybody watch out. People are overdosing. God. My stepdad is a cop, and the sergeants are sending out all these. They're trying to change laws because a bunch of young people are, instead of smoking marijuana, are turning to K2, and it's having really, really dangerous side effects on people. So watch out for that on the streets if anybody's...
I just don't get the purpose in smoking K2.
Right? Just smoke some weed.
I guess, who knows?
Yeah.
It's like having bath salt effects. Like people are going delusional and going crazy. So,
why
as a mother, we have to know these things to look out for.
Because it's crazy how people...
But it's like Victoria says, you might as well just smoke the real thing.
Right? I feel like...
Or synthetic weed.
Synthetic weed.
And they've already had stories about K2 and the effects that it has on the body.
Right, and it's coming back.
It's like when you see an example of something that someone did wrong and what they had to go through, and someone does it again.
Yeah, kids always got to try it, though. We know that.
Or even gang banging, taking drugs. You know what's going to happen. You know the outcome. You'll either end up dead or in jail. And people still join gangs. It's because this world is so much going on. Some people have so many different circumstances than others. Some people don't have family, so they turn to drugs and gangs. It's crazy, but it's here. I guess all about awareness. When you learn what's going to happen.
Exactly, yeah.
That might help.
So, Victoria, you have the mystery topic?